Hello YouTube, Tudor Diabolos Prime here, and I am coming at you with a video that I'm probably going to post and never post anything again for 3 months, in my eclectic lineup of fucking entertainment that I have here on my YouTube channel. And today we're going over the newly released archetype for Master Duel, Ryu-Ge. Ryu-Ge is probably the closest thing to a modern day apocalypse deck we are going to get. What do I mean by apocalypse deck? Well, I mean decks themed around level 10 monsters that literally in depiction bring about the apocalypse, akin to like the Egyptian gods, sacred beasts, and regrettably the Earthbound immortals. Usually by this time in the game they all suck, with very few exceptions. This is kind of similar, but instead of, you know, all the monsters having quirky effects that mean absolutely nothing, these monsters actually do have decent effects. And technically, instead of 3, there's now 5. Originally there was only 4 on release, but we'll get to that here in a minute. So this deck revolves around 3 types of well, 4, but 4 types of monsters. Dinosaurs, sea serpents, and Wyrms. And of course, the 4th type of every Yu-Gi-Oh deck enthusiast, fucking dragons. Ironically, you have 2 dragons in the archetype, which both of them are part of the main deck. One being Mistva, and one being Anva. These are the only 2 I'm actually going to call by their names, as in the other 3 I call by their Pokemon denominators, Groudon, Kyogre, and Rayquaza. Why? Because that will make sense later. So anyway, the way you run this deck is simple. You have to have Mistva face up in your extra deck, and this fucking thing on the field to accomplish practically all the bullshit you're going to make with this deck. So most of the cards you have is either going to search out Mistva so you can search out your field spell, or, you know, disrupting your opponent and hoping you still get the card to search out the field spell. So, the way this deck works is, upon activation of Ryu-Ge Warzone, you add 1 dinosaur, sea serpent, and Wyrm monster. 1 you get to put in your hand, 1 you put in the grave, and 1 you put into banishment. Usually the one you're going to grab in hand is Kava, and use its special ability to search out the continuous spell, which we'll get to here in a minute, because these continuous spells are really important. So you can play that continuous spell. And then you activate Ryu-Ge's second effect, or Warzone's second effect. If you have Mistva interface up in your extra deck, you get to summon 3 Ryu-Ge monsters with different types from your deck, graveyard, and banishment. Typically, you're going to summon Kava, you're going to summon Groudon, Kyogre, and Rayquaza this way. And they have they're level 10 monsters with their own unique abilities. And each one has a specific but continuous spell that represents them. And the most important is the dinosaur one, Nino Domain. It gives all Ryu-Ge monsters 300 attack. And if you have a Ryu-Ge Pendulum monster and a level 10 or higher monster whose original type is dinosaur, once per turn you can return a Ryu-Ge continuous spell card to the bottom of your deck and negate the activation of a card. That is really important, and is the fact why I went for the cheap route, and the only level 12 single monster I have is this fucking thing, because it's hilarious, and I completely forgot that, unironically, it works with a continuous spell, and it was very fucking hilarious. See, Yu-Gi-Oh players don't read. I am one of those Yu-Gi-Oh players. So, moving right along, the whole game plan is to set up these monsters with their continuous spell cards to do things. This one bounces a card on a quick effect, which can be good for you and do disrupt your opponent. And this one basically just turns your opponent's monster's attacks to 0. But this one's really funny too, because During your opponent's turn, any monster sent from the field to the graveyard gets banished instead, and that can trigger some effects, being the only quick playable version of summonable card besides Groudon. Rayquaza over here, if more than one card is banished, you can special summon them as a quick effect. Now, each of the Ryu-Ge monsters has their own effects on the field. Rayquaza here, you can reshuffle it back into the deck. Well, you can banish him, add a Ryu-Ge card from the deck to the hand. Oh no, sorry, you can... To activate all their effects, you gotta send their required continuous spells to the deck. My bad. For him, he allows you to search. For Kyogre, you literally rip your opponent's hand a new one, and they are forced to banish their hand. And then you are able to, you know, let them draw new cards, but you're able to see what they're working with. And then Groudon is just like, fuck the field, and destroys any targeted card, depending on the multiple amount of types you have on the field. Now, if you're wondering, I've talked about the three. Why haven't I talked about the main? Well, Misva can gain the bonus effects for being a level 10 pendulum from all the continuous cards. So he can negate, he can bounce, he can turn to 0. But also, when he comes to the field, he does not have a ritual spell. You summon him with his own effect. When he comes to the field, destroy up to 2 of your own cards to put the continuous spells on board as well. And you can basically multi-attack with him. So, if your opponent has a monster on the field and you run over one of your other creatures, you can tribute that already attacked monster, bring him out to do a 4th attack. Now, there's one Ryu-Ge monster I haven't talked about yet, and that's their newer one. Now, in Master Duel, all the Ryu-Ges came out at the same time, which I find very awesome, because without this monster, they would not absolutely be able to make the plays they can. And that is Anva. Anva here, which I have no idea how the fuck he fits in the lore, is your dark counterpart to Misva. And you could tribute a Ryu-Ge monster in your hand, special summon him. But that's not one of the major benefits. When he's special summon period, you can target a card in the field and blow it up. Quick spot removal upon summon. Also, his pendulum effect is really good too. If your opponent tries to interfere with one of your abilities, he can destroy himself in the pendulum zone to prevent that from happening. But upon destruction himself, he can instantly put a continuous spell or trap on the field from anywhere. And the one you're really going to put on the field is Ryu-Ge End, because this is a great interrupting of your opponent and resource recycler, because you're going to need to recycle your Ryu-Ges as much as possible. And this just allows you to, you know, recycle 2 cards, pop a thing. Mostly it's monster, but, you know, still. And also it prevents your monsters from being targeted. The downside about the deck is if anything happens to your fucking field spell while you're doing anything, or if they ash your field spell, or if they, God forbid, ghost ogre your field spell, you're pretty much a sitting duck, which is why most of the cards I run here are just instant board breakers. Super Polymerization, get better Super Polymerization targets than me. All the ones I have right now are Protoplant, Dracostopia, Starvegan Fusion Dragon, Mugen Dragon of the Swamp, Mud Dragon of the Swamps, that type of thing. I have your typical opponent, fuck yous, Called by the Grave, Chaos Out Designator, add more Forbidden Droplets if you have it. I don't have it. The other thing that you have to add is the Maxi game. Luckily, they put the damn thing down to 2, so you run your 2, and then you run your Ash Blossom to stop them from searching. And of course, Nibiru, because you could play through Nibiru. Your opponent might not be able to. Another thing that I added, and you can add its other counterpart as well. Here, let me pull up the other counterpart real quick. What I added is this card right here, which is Arch-Nemesis Protoss. This thing is banned in the physical card game, but if you banish 3 monsters with different attributes, you can summon them to the field. Can't be destroyed by card effects. So they're going to have to run them over by battle, but you could declare an attribute. And if you declare an attribute, it has to be on the field. Destroy all monsters of that attribute, and you and your opponent cannot special summon anything of that attribute. Mostly you want to call out Dark and Light. Unless the opponent has specifically running, like, I don't know, Snake Eyes, and then you want to call out Fire. Particularly, you want to call out Dark and Light for the Fiendsmith engine, Blue Eyes, and Dark stuff, because Dark is always going to be like the best element in this game. The other thing you can do is replace it as a cheap counterpart, is his counterpart, Arch-Nemesis Esakotos, which not only, it will allow your opponent to special summon, but it'll shut down effects. Oh no, it will prevent them from special summoning monsters of that type. So if you're going up against somebody with heroes, you just declare warrior, destroy all their stuff, they can't summon warriors anymore, and it locks them out for that turn. Like I said, these are options. Now, when it comes to extra deck setup, you can probably build a better extra deck than me. I'm running for what I have, and I'm telling you right now, I don't even run half the shit. I don't even play half the shit that I have in here. Most of this stuff is just if I need it. Well, one, this thing, Transcendence Glaciosaurus, which surprisingly has come up in many a duel, and it's really interesting, and I'm probably going to keep it in here because I got a lot of use out of it, not even knowing how. So it's 36, which is great. It's a level 12, which means it meets the requirement for Dino Domain. It cannot be destroyed by battle. Somebody learned that the hard way. Dinosaur monsters you control that are supposed to summon from the graveyard cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. Also, your opponent can't target them with card effects. So it gives protection to Groudon if you summon them from the graveyard. And you can, and sometimes you will. And if this card is destroyed, you shuffle a normal monster from the graveyard into your deck and summon it back to the field. The way you get access to your level 12 swing throws, and you want to play multiple, probably like the best optimal way to play this is to add Crimson Dragon and Centaurian Godzilla, so you can put a negate trap card on the field, is Carbodon. You send him to the graveyard, banish him so you can summon Guard Dragon Justia, and tune it up with one of your Ryu-Ge monsters to bring out this level 12 monstrosity. The other main extra deck monster I play might as well be a fucking Ryu-Ge monster, which I thought it was. And that is Valdrus, the Final Bringer of the End Times. It is a really good generic level 10 card, but holy shit. This is an extra negate. It literally destroys anything. And if your opponent makes the dumb decision and gets rid of this card by destroying it, you're sending something else to the field. A regrettably Draco King player was regretful in that decision. Another monster that I play a lot is Typhon. This effect is really powerful. It basically is like a skill drain on all monsters with 3000 attack or more. And you can basically, it's a very specific removal. I can get over things like Zark and stuff like that. But what I usually play this for, and every time I fucking play this goddamn card, he's usually subjected to the most bullshit removal. And be careful playing this card because it locks you out of summoning for the rest of the turn when you summon it when you summon it with its ability. You don't need 2 level 12s. If your opponent summons 2 monsters from the next deck, you just bring this back onto the field, and there you go. But for some reason, every time I summon this thing, 9 times out of 10, he's getting removed by some weird fucking effect that I did not see coming. And the final extract monster that I've seen a little bit of play sometimes is Rail Cannon, Gustav Max. It is literally Cowboy for game. If you got your opponent's life points down 2000 or below, just bring this out, detach, and fucking end it. Giant gun to the face. I've used it a couple of times. The rest of the extra deck, not so much. I'm probably going to drop Nightmare Cerberus. I'm keeping Masquerena and SP Little Knight and Underworld Goddess because I can utilize those. I don't know if I should keep World Gears Demiurge because I can summon it sometimes, and having the ability to nuke the field is really good. But other than that, that I don't know. I'm probably debating on getting rid of it as well. What can I do suggest to make this deck better? Add more level 12 synchro monsters. And hold up, we will do this. And no, I'm not editing all this out because I cannot afford an editor. Add more level 12 synchro monsters. Actually, I don't even need to. I just need like 60. Preferable targets: Crimson Dragon, Godzilla, Saturnian Godzilla, and Cosmic Blazar. You can use Crimson Dragon to go into Cosmic Blazar to have a negate on board for your first turn play. Use Saturnian to set a specific trap from the deck to the hand. Have an extra body on board. That type of thing. That type of thing. Like I said, it's really good. Now, for the sake of making this goddamn video longer, so I can have decent amount of time, I'm going to subject you to a replay. Because why not? thank you guys for indulging me in these 25 minutes of just me rambling on about my new favorite deck. I hope to catch you next time, where I actually post something other than a replay from my live stream, which I stream Monday through Friday on Twitch, usually with a friend of mine named Nana, and we stream random games, sadly not as much as Yu-Gi-Oh! But I hope to catch you guys there. My Twitch will be in the description, and I hope to see you guys next time. Ciao!